Welcome to the Frisco podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Barron, along with
Scott Ellis.
And today we have
Yvonne Brown.
Yvonne Brown is our longest standing member of the team at Lifestyle Frisco. She is a senior contributing writer. Her current emphasis tends to be real estate development, commercial, residential, and otherwise all these multi-use developments. She watches that very closely for us, among other things. She writes a lot of kids and family content, restaurants, you name it. Yvonne can do it. And we're so excited for her to bring us a bit of an update about what's happening in Frisco. Everyone knows there's a lot, but what is it exactly? What's happening? So we're going to dive in.
There's a lot going on, and there's a lot of big new shiny stuff going up all along the Dallas North Tollway within Frisco, and I'll get back to that in a minute because it has a special name. But there's also an area of Frisco that is very close to my heart that I spend a lot of time in this particular area in the historic part of Frisco. And it's been rebranded as the Rail District and got a lot of good businesses going on down there, a lot of good friends, and they are all contributing towards the revitalization of the area. Many of you would know it to pass through, maybe grab a coffee in Summer Moon or have a glass of wine in 811. They celebrated their birthday actually this week. They're 2 years old. Lately, some people have been going in and investing and buying pockets of land and redeveloping it, but also keeping within the character of like the old houses and the picket fences and the cute little places to shop. And so it's about to go through a complete overhaul, but also maintaining its character.
So it's a little old meets new happening in the Rail District.
Yeah.
We're going to stop calling it downtown Frisco. We've got to start calling it the Rail District.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we need to. The Rail District, it's right beside the railway tracks, where all of like the history of Frisco is, where it kind of started, and there's the group called NAC Development are going in there, and they've got 3 pockets of land that have been approved by the city, and the patios on the rail, the tower at the rail, and now the calaboose. And if you think about a couple of those names, the calaboose is right where the Frisco City Jail was in the early 1900s. And that pocket of land once had the little calaboose building. They had to move it a few years ago into the Heritage Centre site, so kind of maintained it. But Donnie Churchman and his team are going in there and they're putting some new beautiful brownstones in, and they're calling it the Calaboose the Rail because it's right beside the railway tracks.
Can you tell people what a calaboose is for those that aren't familiar with that term?
Sure. It comes from a Spanish word, which I'm not going to try and pronounce. And it basically is a small concrete structure whereby if some of the local people had too much to drink or were too rowdy or had caused some problems in the city back in the early 1900s, were thrown in for the night until they cooled off and went to the county jail the next day.
Yeah. And it was there up until what you said, the 1950s or so? They were using it until the 1950s or so?
Yeah.
We just published an article about this written by Yvonne. She's written a few pieces for us, actually 4 or 5 probably, about what's happening downtown. Go to our site and search for the Rail District. You'll find lots of good stuff about what's happening. But the calaboose one we just published.
That was so fun to research when I
bet.
When I found it. And the structure was there up until 2013. And they tried desperately to save it, but they just couldn't. The type of material used in building it kind of was crumbling. But they preserved the windows and the door. And they've, rebuilt it at the Heritage Centre just a mile or so away. So it was used up until the 1950s and just torn down 2013. They had a big ceremony there to say bye-bye to it. And the mayor, did the first strike on it and everything. So, yeah.
Can you stay the night in the new calaboose?
Maybe.
Think they'd let me stay there
for
a
goodness
night?
gracious. That's going to be the new doghouse. Yeah.
Oh,
my gosh, that's funny. So what is happening with, the tower at the rail?
The tower at the rail.
If you've been in Frisco for a while, you remember Double Dave's. And of course, there was a car wash that is now finally finished, I think, and they're going to erect the
Double Dip.
Thank you, Double Dip.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
Double
for correcting
Dip.
me.
Yep.
He's correct.
That's okay. I was confused for a minute.
He's correct. And so when can we expect that? How long is that going to take?
So that construction is going to start soon. They've started breaking ground. Double Dip is not quite torn down yet. So they will start towards the end of this year. You'll see something going up, and then next year they should be pretty much built. So there's going to be lots of fun stuff there. That's the patios at the rail.
Thank
Then
you.
the one behind it is the tower at the rail, which is beside the lovely like Frisco water tower that you see on a lot of photographs, and kind of is the centerpiece and historic reflection of old Frisco. And a lot of people use in their photographs and stuff when they're down there doing selfies and whatever. So that's going to be the tower at the rail. So it's going to be like the patios is going to have more retail there. Boxcar House is going in. Wonderful store, very much like what you see on Fixer Upper, Chip and Joanna Gaines.
And totally on brand for the rail district.
Yeah.
The
Sure.
Boxcar House.
Yeah.
Can't beat that.
Right.
Yes, and then there'll be some residential, and Brookie Lynn's bungalow is going in. She's the craft lady around.
Also on
Yeah.
brand. She and her
Downtown
husband
Frisco.
are downtown Frisco.
The Callaways,
Yeah.
they're such a fun couple, such positive, wonderful people to be around, and really giving some exposure and light on what it's like to actually live right down there. They have a beautiful home with a white picket fence right in the centre, and Matt does a lot of real estate down there, and he also he sits on the board with the city to promote development down there and new things coming in. So yeah, he's Mr. Frisco downtown. And I like to call them friends because we interact quite a bit, and he tells me what's going on. And Summer Moon is down there where we all like to have a coffee, but lots of good boutiques. They're all still hanging around. The Heritage Table, they were a year old this year. Beautiful restaurant to spend time
It
in.
is. I love Heritage.
So it's
Table.
just nice. If you want a bit of a slower pace of life, want to get out of the car and walk around, there's a free little library just one block back as well from the rail district where the kids can go and exchange books and stuff. So it's nice, really, really nice.
So much happening. So now if we head closer to the tollway, what are we calling the space between 121 and 380? We're not really referring to the $5 billion mile anymore just because some things have changed about all of that. So what's happening now? What are we calling it?
So the $5 billion mile used to be a shorter piece, literally probably a mile or a little over a mile long, that covered where Frisco Station's going in, the Star, the Gate. And really the realisation was that Frisco stretches from the 121 up to the 380. So on the Dallas North Tollway. So that's now been rebranded just earlier this year to the North Platinum Corridor. So the North Platinum Corridor again runs from 121 up to 380, and then there's lots of different construction and new development going on each side of it. I mean, we all drive up and down it every week or so. So besides some of the new shiny stuff you see going on, there's a whole lot going on north, kind of just at 380 and DNT. There's a Cinemark is going in, and around that there's plans for residential development, retail, shopping centres. Also, we've got a development called the Railhead is going in just a little bit further south of El Dorado near Legacy. And that's been developed by the Newman real estate people. And the theme for a lot of these is live, work, play. So you can live there, possibly go to work there because there's going to be some commercial development and, a lot of companies going in to have their headquarters there. And also then when you're finished work or at lunchtime, you can go out and grab a sandwich or a bowl of soup or, spend some time in the park, taking a phone call, bringing the kids or whatever. So a lot of these developments now are realising people don't want to always be in the car. They want to go to one place, park the car, and do all different things. So, yeah.
Absolutely true.
Yeah, we've got a couple of hospitals going in as well. So Texas Health is going in just around Panther Creek in the Dallas North Tollway. Scottish Rite, which is fantastic for the kids.
Yeah.
That's going in too. And they should be, Texas Health will be a little bit longer. They're halfway through. But Scottish Rite, I think, is going to be open, if not by the end of this year, maybe early next year.
Yeah,
so
it's getting pretty close.
That's good to have that close.
Yep.
So the North Platinum Corridor is the one to think about. Anything you see going on there, it's worthwhile.
That's what people are going to see as they're driving up and down the toll road. But I didn't realize that now extends, that title extends from 121 all the way up to 380.
Yeah.
So that whole thing is being referred to as
because
the
it makes
Platinum
sense because
Corridor.
that's our Frisco area. And again, no matter whether you're east or west, and there's a fun kind of ongoing argument and discussion that goes on. What is East Frisco? What is West Frisco? What's the dividing line? Is it Preston Road or is it the Dallas North Tollway? I mean, for a long time, I would have said Preston Road because I live east of Preston.
I think that area between the toll road and Preston is kind of the DMZ between the two.
Yeah.
Right? It's sort of.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yes.
I'm just kidding, you guys. We love everybody in Frisco. Calm down. I can already hear the comments coming at me.
It's a good conversation.
We can't help it if there's a lot happening.
There is some
on the website.
residential in there, but there's a lot of commercial and other things in there. So it is kind of a logical, if you wanted to divide up Frisco into east and west, it's a logical demarcation. It's not just a road, but it's really that corridor, that whole area.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of east, though, so what about the Grove? And there is some cool development happening further east. Tell us about that.
There is, and I've got some articles coming up soon on some like hot new homes, we're going to call them. The Grove is right over East Frisco. It's over off Custer and Maine. And I went and visited recently, and I mean, they've got some great amenities, some really cool like community pools that are going to be open all year round and heated.
Ooh,
Nice.
very cool.
They're
for
doing a good job on
families.
social, too. I've been seeing their stuff on Instagram a lot, and they've got some good...
They did. They had a
Yeah.
big
Imagery and
hoopla open house thing about a month
They
ago.
did,
Yeah.
like with lots of stuff for families and ice cream and so on. They've got a bakery going in there, so which I think is a win-win because you know there is so many people in Frisco now are able to work from home or are working from home part-time. They want to they might be working in their home office, but then if the young kids are at home, they need to get out. So maybe they can go to this bakery, do some work. The moms can get out of the house with the babies and the toddlers and just take a little stroll through the trees. They're going to have some great landscaping there and go and have a coffee and a croissant or whatever. I would have liked that when mine were a bit smaller to walk to like a little bakery, you know, or a coffee shop. And there wasn't one, as much as I love my community, there wasn't one really nearby. I had a 7-Eleven, but that was it. So you got to get in the car. So lots of walking trails and hiking and biking within that whole community as well. And I think there's about 5 or 6 different builders. So you can go from a 3-bedroom home up to a 5 and 6 bedroom home.
Okay.
You know, depending on how much square footage you want. So yeah, that's going to be there. That broke ground this year. It's going to be there for like 5 or 6 years at least.
Okay.
Now, if you want to go a little bit further north, because you feel like, you know, it's more concentrated down further south in Frisco, go north up to the 380 in Teal. A friend of mine just bought in Hollyhock. And again, great amenities. Great HOA, they've got movies going on each week. They've got like fitness classes, a gym, great pool. It's like a resort pool. I've been at it. My kids have been swimming in it. They're building. There's got 6 builders, and a couple of really cool things actually in these particular model homes is they've got like the office, the home office, which is a thing now for most people, is halfway up the stairs in one of the model homes. And that might sound ridiculous.
I just saw that in a house that we were looking at recently. It was really cool, actually.
Nice, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I have seen that where it's like there's a mid-level, if you will.
There's kind of a
really
landing
cool. Yeah.
partway up the stairs
Yeah.
and a little office off to the side.
That's neat.
I think it was Britain Homes are doing that. And then another one, which I really like. And the old name for it is She Space. Right? You remember I mentioned
There's the
this?
man cave, there's the she space.
And it's really like,
Yep.
you know, it's like you've got the bills to pay. You need the computer to be kind of near the kitchen. It ends up on the island. And then the kids are coming in with the schoolwork and you've got papers everywhere. And it's actually, the new name is Pocket Office.
Love it.
Right?
I get
Pocket
it.
Office. So
Pocket
it's
office.
usually tucked in somewhere off the kitchen or the living area. And a couple of the homes have that. I really like that. And then a lot of it is about open plan living. Completely open plan, which we're used to here in Frisco and in the States in general compared to where I come from in Europe. But no
Where do you
more.
come from in Europe? I'm sorry. I thought you picked up that fantastic accent in East Frisco.
Not
Just
quite.
teasing you.
Yeah.
A little further east
I
than
know.
that,
My
right?
mom would be so proud I haven't lost my accent. I don't think I have anyway.
No, we love it.
No, I'm from Dublin. I'm from the main city in Ireland. I'm a city girl. Like I grew up 3 or 4 miles from the city. So my husband would love to live further out the country, but not now. We'll do that when we retire. So no, I need to stay where it's concentrated. That's why I love Frisco so much because it's so convenient.
Yeah.
right?
And the work, live, play thing you were describing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what you grew up with, I'm
Yeah.
sure, in Dublin. Yeah.
But so in Ireland, the open plan living is not so popular, but we're
No.
seeing more and more of that here.
Yeah, absolutely. So the dining room is kind of going. The formal dining room is going in some plans, and it's all about the bigger eating space in the kitchen. Bigger island,
Love that.
more high stools around the island, and then a bigger place to put your dining table. Because think about it. I mean, if you have a large family, you all end up in that area doing the homework and the snacks and then the dinner, and people are coming and going with activities. But also, if you have people over, and okay, you'll go outside if it's barbecue weather. But at the end of the day, a lot of people still end up back in the kitchen.
True.
You know, having a beer, talking, catching up, and, you know, all of the plates are out with the food. So, yeah, so really, really nice plans in there. Now, contrast to that, there's one more that I really like, and it's really cute, and it's just off the rail district. Okay, so I got to give this a mention. And it's KB Homes. And shout out to Melanie in the Cheney group, because she introduced me to this. And it's a really small, cute, gated community. It's just about 2 blocks from the rail district off Hickory. And it's tucked away in around greenery, and there's about, I would say, 20 or 30 maximum homes. And if you don't want a big backyard, but you can actually put in a small pool if you want. They call it a spool. So spa, pool,
Of course they do.
Because we can't just call things what they are anymore. Everything needs a nickname.
That is exactly right. That is so funny.
I love that, right?
A spool.
Spool.
Oh my goodness.
Or you can just
I thought
have...
that had to do with sewing. I don't know.
No,
Call me crazy.
It does.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you can just
That's
have
awesome.
a cute little patio.
I love it.
But like they're small and cute, about 2,000 or 3,000 square feet. But the master has 2 closets, one for his and hers, and there's a guest room, and there's another room, and there's an office, and then the open plan living. So KB Homes have that. They're really cute, well worth a look, you know, for maybe starter families.
Those are south of
or
Maine?
Young professionals. Let
Hickory.
me see. Yes, south. Hickory is the one that comes up to the side of Walmart onto
Yep.
Preston.
Yep.
So if you just take that one.
And
back
speaking of, I hear that those are now being referred to as the tree streets because they're all like ash, hickory,
Right.
oak, whatever. So
Kind of like the M streets in
yeah,
Dallas.
but now we have the tree streets in Frisco, which are in the rail district.
the tree streets in and around where all those cute homes are.
Yeah.
You know, and bear in mind, some people are a little bit afraid, like we talked about it being a tale of two cities, of the development going in, and it's going to be all like shiny and straight lines and IKEA type stuff. There's like, anybody who's gone in there is really keeping within the character. The guys that I met recently, Almega Homes, they're building 3 beautiful modern farmhouse homes, and they consulted with the residents in the area and let them know, we're not going to take away the character. They're going to build just like it. Okay, there might be a little bit of disruption when the building is going on, but the 3 homes they're building, and it's almost like a trial for them because they want to do more, are going to be beautiful modern farmhouse type homes.
You wrote an article about that for us. So yes,
Yeah.
on our site, search Almega,
Yep.
you'll get it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a great
They're
article.
really nice. They're only being built now, but they'll be ready in about 6 months, and they're really nice. And that's the first kind of the private residential new homes you'll see going in.
Yeah, and Donnie Churchman, who heads NAC Development, and we've spoken to them numerous times. They're really going out of their way to try to, yes, it's new development, but to keep that character of downtown Frisco. And I mean, they love that as well. And he's got a knack for doing just that kind of thing.
A knack development.
I meant to do that.
Yes, you did.
But
Anyway.
he's good at that.
Right.
And so I think they're going to do a good job of keeping the character, but also giving downtown Frisco a breath of new life that it's quite frankly needed for a while. And some others have come in and started doing things like 811 and others that have put in shops down there, Summer Moon. But you've got to have different components, right? It's not just about the retail. We need people living down there, but it's going to be very walkable. It's going to be very, very pedestrian. Well, I believe it'll be very pedestrian friendly. Hopefully they'll,
He's also giving back in a way because one of his next projects is a theater.
Yeah.
Yes, Frisco
a
Youth
small
Theater.
Yeah, which is
community theater.
amazing.
It's going to
Yeah.
house the North Texas Performance Arts, the youth part of the
Frisco
theater.
Youth Theater. Yes, it's awesome.
Which would be great for the kids, but also it's going to have so many different things going on. But for us, even like date night out, it's going to have improv too, So some people are going to be able to walk to that, and
we need that space.
date night and have a drink in 811 or Heritage Table and go down to the theater
Yeah.
or vice versa. So
Drop your kids off at Countdown to Escape. Let them escape room. Walk across the
Totally.
street to 811.
Love it.
See, there's a lot of good stuff already going
Yeah,
on. It's
there
only going to
is.
get better.
It's he has a good vision, and you can look at his vision on a video too at any stage. He's got like a whole video of what he sees it's gonna look like. It's also part of the bigger plan with the city for the downtown master plan development. So the next meeting for that, and if anybody's interested, it's open to the public. I go when I can. They've taken a little break to spend some time consulting over the summer. The next one is next Monday. at 4 p.m. in the senior center.
What date is that? Because this is probably going to air after that.
20th.
Yeah, this will be out
That's
on the 21st,
true. Good
so
point.
this will happen.
Okay.
But we'll have it in
it'll
the
be last
TWIF,
night.
And there's
so
another one.
we'll
And
make
there's
sure.
another one
Yep.
after. Yeah, there's another one after. So just keep an eye. I'll make sure we promote them, because you can go and see the plans, see what's going on. It's going to be like a overall 2-year plan, but there's going to be like plazas and greenery and cute places to hang out. So it's there's a lot of people collaborating together and volunteering to make this work. And there's some experts in there who have done this a million times over, like, you know, people who worked on the McKinney downtown area. So it's going to be good.
Good.
It's going to be good.
Well, and big shout out to Mayor Cheney as well, because he has been a huge advocate of mandatory green space accompanying a lot of the new development.
Yes.
And so it's not all just concrete and brick. There is going to be a lot more green space with these new things, that all of the things that we've talked about as a part of that. So it's gets you outdoors a little bit, gives you some room to move around, and keeps things pretty in Frisco.
They're very focused on preserving all the trees down there. They're
Yeah.
not going anywhere.
Good.
And, you know,
That makes me
and-
happy.
Yeah, and one of his 9 planks in the 100 Days of Motion video series, one of his 9 planks was revitalize downtown, and he's sticking to that, and it's happening. So he's very much involved. So yeah.
Love it. All right, anything else we should know about? Anything else big happening? That's a pretty good breakdown.
That's a lot going on. Do you know what I mean? But
Do we need more?
do we need more? I think if anybody hears of anything new and wants to give me breaking news, you know where I am.
I have a quick question for you. Do you know very much yet about Music City? I know we haven't heard a lot yet. There's just been you did do an article for us.
Yes.
But is there anything new about that?
Nothing new yet. It's been approved. They had to kind of adjust the plans just slightly, but they should be going in early next year to start digging and breaking ground. And to kind of highlight, it's not going to be a huge venue. I think it's 1,002 seats in total, but also they can be moved around and shaped for like theater, fashion shows, conferences, and it'll have equally indoor and an outdoor aspect.
Yes.
So
Where's that going to go?
It's the DNT and Candleless Way is the name of the street, which, you know, is not one you hear quite often. It's kind of a quieter street, but it's in that little pocket near the DNT, more on the west side.
Okay.
Is it near Rough Riders at all? Or a little
bit
further north?
I think a little bit further north.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
to
I've
know.
got an article coming up soon on what else is going on the North Platinum Corridor besides the big stuff we know. So watch out for that one, and I'll highlight some of these.
All right, so if people have questions or tips, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
I would love people to email me, Yvonne at lifestylefrisco.com. Look for me on our website, Brown, and all my articles are there, and there should be contact information there, or just even send a note into the contact us, and one of us will pick it up, or message us on our Facebook page. We
Yep.
watch that constantly.
Leave
so
a comment on the site.
yeah, yeah. If you want to come and get something highlighted, and it's something going on in the real estate world that I might not know about, absolutely, I'd love to. Yeah.
Yvonne, YVONNE at lifestylefrisco.com.
Yes.
Perfect.
Please, love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Awesome.
Thank you so much for joining us today. That was a great rundown. And
No, it was. We'll have to
That's
do
a-
this
Thank you.
again.
there is a
'cause
lot
this
going
just-
on. So
Yeah.
we'll bring you back in a few months to keep us up to date on what else is happening.
Yeah, let's see what else is going on. Okay.
That would be awesome.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Thanks,
bet.
Yvonne.
It was fun.
And thanks to all of you for tuning into the Frisco podcast. We're going to link up all of the things that Yvonne talked about. Hopefully we can remember all of the things she talked about today in the show notes for this episode. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next time.
Bye. Bye-bye.
You're listening to RNCN, the digital destination for premium talk radio.